a little bit more visualization on this. This is diagrams. I wanted to go ahead and discuss, this is the entity relationship diagram. So this is how information is going to flow throughout the project. Essentially here we have the client. And we're going to establish the primary key as the client ID. The project ID is the next key, and then followed by the employee ID. What we're saying is whenever a new client emerges, they're going to be issued an ID. That client will then have a project ID established, and then the employee ID for any employees related to that project. That employee ID will connect to the first name, last name, job title, department, and their contact information. That employee ID will then connect to a product ID when they make an order. So say the crew lead orders a exit sign. That exit sign will then be established with a product ID. It will then be given an order number and a tracking number, a shipping address, and a shipping date. From that information, the product ID will then be connected to the warehouse, who will then receive the product ID with the department ID that it has been ordered from. The tracking number will stay the same. It'll give a product type, the product received, the product departure, and any product instructions within the warehouse. So when the product has been received, when it is departing, and just information to go ahead and track that. The department ID will then connect to all departments. So project manager, warehouse department, crew lead, purchasing, and office personnel. Based on the product ID, any additional information that has been inputted with that product will, such as product quantity, product size, product location, or product notifications, will then be connected to that point. So this is just a basic diagram showing how all the information is going to be placed into the database. Now for the architecture diagram, this is basically showing the pages of the application. So project page, on-site evaluation page, notations page, product ordering page, warehouse inventory page. It's showing that it all connects to the accessible devices by the company, the desktops, the laptops, and the tablets. So it's just essentially showing the progression of the application. System design user interface. Here we're just showing that the initial project page, as mentioned, we have the login and the password for any employee to go ahead and access the specific project. Following this, we're going to have the on-site evaluation page, which is basically for the crew lead. He will be the one that has the accessibility as well as the project manager for this page. We're showing an initial blueprint of the site that they are working on. And through there, you can put a directional sign, an emergency sign, a restroom sign. You can place it where you want to on which wall with specific notifications, which will come in the next page. So here's the notations page. Each time you go ahead and place a icon within the given area, it'll be assigned an ID. So on the notations page, whether it's installed, height check, location, the coding, whether it's ready to install, any additional information such as has already been installed, can be listed on this page. Then we move on to the product ordering page. So once the signs have been placed in a given location, the information for the product ordering will begin, product ID, the quantity, the manufacturer, whether it has it in stock, yes or no, whether it needs approval or not. Say an additional sign needs to be placed on a specific wall, say a braille sign for a restroom. In this case, the crew lead may not have the authority to go ahead and order this sign, so they're going to go ahead and place the sign there, but they're going to say that it needs approval prior to ordering. At that point, a notification will be sent to the project manager, who then can approve it for purchasing. Again, the idea is to reduce the amount of delays for paper-based system. The crew lead would then need to either call or return that day, get a hold of the project manager, submit paperwork, have the project manager approve it, have the project manager then submit that paperwork to purchasing. Purchasing would then be able to purchase that sign, and it may cause delays of a day, 2 days, whatever the case may be, and that's what we're trying to resolve. So finally, we have the warehouse inventory page, which will be used through the warehouse department for tracking, receiving. But again, crew leads, project manager, office personnel, everyone can see this page. It's to track different IDs. So we have the product ID, the ID number, tracking number, and then we have whether it's on site, whether it's in the warehouse, whether it's still being processed, whether or not the product has been ordered, delivered, or received. So it's mainly just creating transparency throughout the different departments as to whether or not a product has been received or not. Then we move on to the system design user stories. Here we went ahead and did a workshop with the contact person for the organization. And we went ahead and we discussed what the organization wants to see from this application. So I'll give you a few examples here. But the main idea of this is what do they want and what can we create and what is feasible. And it's kind of a workaround as to what is plausible and what limitations we may have as through development. So moving forward, we went ahead and we classified it by different aspects, or different roles. So owner, project manager, crew lead, and what they want to see. So what the crew lead would like is to evaluate on-site signage requirements. Why? Because he wants to create a list of signs by location and type. He wants to be able to identify list of signs for the project, create list of signs to be ordered and installed, provide a list of signs to project manager. So he wants to be able to send, he wants to be able to receive, he wants to be able to create, he wants to be able to view. Um, just basic desires from the crew lead. Project manager, identify project name or by name and location to create a summary of materials and costs by project. The owner wants to create weekly status reports to maintain organizational oversight. So one feature that we may include at the end of this application is a reporting system that can go directly to the owner, directly to the project manager. Moving on to the next set, that was 1 through 26. Here we list the crew lead, the purchasing department, the warehousing department, the office personnel. Now this portion is critical to establishing what the application can do and what we want to create. Now let's move on to the project management section.